When we consider the passage of time, it is often with a mixture of awe and apprehension. We watch as our bodies carry us through decades, bearing the weight of our lives, our experiences, our joys and sorrows, and inevitably, the signs of aging begin to manifest. There is a certain inevitability to the way our joints, those remarkable hinge points of our existence, begin to creak and stiffen. Yet, within this natural progression, there lies a profound truth. The human body is not merely a passive vessel surrendering to time. It is a dynamic, responsive system, capable of adaptation, renewal, and even rejuvenation, if guided with understanding. Today, I want to speak with you about one exercise, a simple, singular movement that, if practiced thoughtfully, has the power to preserve the vitality of your joints long after the age of 60. To appreciate the significance of this exercise, it is helpful to reflect on what joints are, not simply as anatomical structures, but as intricate systems of living tissue. Joints are far more than mechanical hinges. They are complex ecosystems, consisting of cartilage, synovial fluid, ligaments, tendons, and surrounding musculature. Cartilage, that smooth, resilient material at the ends of bones, allows for frictionless movement. Synovial fluid nourishes this cartilage and cushions each motion, reducing wear and tear. Ligaments hold our bones in alignment, and muscles provide the strength that directs and stabilizes our movements. Every element interacts in subtle, exquisite balance. When we age, the cartilage can thin, the synovial fluid may diminish, and the muscles around the joint may weaken. The result is stiffness, discomfort, and a decreased range of motion. But what is remarkable is how responsive these tissues remain, even into our later decades. The exercise I speak of is deceptively simple in its form, yet profound in its effect. It is controlled, low-impact joint mobilization, sometimes called circular joint rotations, or articular rotations. Imagine, for a moment, the act of slowly, deliberately rotating your shoulders, hips, wrists, or ankles through their full range of motion. Each rotation is deliberate, fluid, and mindful. At first glance, this may seem almost too modest, too unassuming to have real impact. But science and experience alike tell us that these gentle, continuous movements are the very key to maintaining joint health. What occurs during these rotations is a remarkable dialogue between structure and motion. When cartilage is compressed and then released through movement, it absorbs nutrients from the surrounding synovial fluid. Unlike other tissues, cartilage lacks its own blood supply. It relies on motion to pump in nourishment and remove waste products. This means that a joint that remains largely sedentary gradually loses its capacity for self-maintenance. Conversely, regular, thoughtful rotation keeps the cartilage hydrated, resilient, and responsive. It is a form of biological conversation. The joint tells the body what it needs through motion, and the tissues respond by sustaining themselves. There is another dimension to these exercises that is often overlooked: the neurological aspect. Every joint is intimately connected to our nervous system through an intricate network of receptors known as proprioceptors. These receptors convey information about the position, tension, and movement of our limbs. As we rotate our joints slowly and attentively, we are engaging these proprioceptors, reinforcing the brain's awareness of the body's position in space. This heightened awareness reduces the risk of falls, improves coordination, and maintains the delicate balance between strength and flexibility. The joints, in essence, are reminded how to move gracefully, which is a skill that the body never forgets but, like a language rarely spoken, can atrophy without practice. Consider the contrast between this approach and the more common prescription of high-impact exercise or repetitive gym movements. While strength training and aerobics certainly have their place, the joints of someone over 60 respond differently. Repeated strain, heavy loads, or impact can exacerbate wear on cartilage, inflame the synovial lining, and increase the risk of injury. Controlled joint rotations, by contrast, emphasize range, fluidity, and subtle resistance, creating an environment in which tissues can adapt without trauma. It is a dance with gravity and biology, not a battle against them. Beyond the mechanical and neurological benefits, there is a subtle biochemical conversation occurring with each rotation. Movement stimulates the production of anti-inflammatory molecules, maintains joint lubrication, and even triggers cellular mechanisms that repair microdamage in cartilage. In studies examining older adults who practiced low-impact joint mobilization regularly, researchers observed improved range of motion, decreased stiffness, and a reduction in subjective joint discomfort. These effects are cumulative. They do not demand hours of effort each day. Even a dedicated 10 to 15 minutes of focused practice can yield measurable results over weeks and months. There is also an important psychological component. When performed mindfully, these rotations cultivate a deep sense of bodily awareness and presence. Each motion becomes a meditation in miniature, a way of reconnecting with a body that may have been neglected in the rush of daily life. Our joints, once stiff and unresponsive, begin to regain a sense of fluidity, not merely as a physical restoration, but as a symbolic affirmation of our ongoing vitality. The act itself becomes a gentle reminder. Aging does not necessitate surrender. With intention, our bodies can remain resilient and responsive. A practical approach to this exercise involves attention to detail. Each joint, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, knees, and ankles, is addressed individually. Rotations should be slow and full, pausing at the edges of comfortable range, without forcing movement. The breath accompanies the motion, calming the nervous system and fostering circulation. There is a rhythm to be discovered, a flow that balances effort and relaxation, which further reinforces the joint's capacity for self-maintenance. Over time, this practice not only preserves mobility, but also deepens a person's appreciation for the elegant engineering inherent in their own body. We can also reflect on the evolutionary significance of these movements. Our ancestors were in constant motion, navigating uneven terrain, lifting, squatting, twisting, and reaching in ways that naturally preserved joint function. Modern life, with its prolonged sitting, repetitive postures, and sedentary habits, interrupts these patterns. Joint rotations, though seemingly simple, reconnect us to the movement languages we were designed to perform. They remind the tissues of their purpose, awaken the senses that monitor position and tension, and gently challenge the joints to maintain integrity in a world that increasingly encourages stillness. It is worth noting that the benefits extend beyond individual joints. The body is an interconnected system. As one joint maintains its mobility, neighboring joints benefit, muscular imbalances are corrected, and the overall kinetic chain improves. Improved joint health fosters better posture, enhanced gait, and even the capacity for more vigorous activity elsewhere. In other words, a little focused attention can cascade through the body, enhancing the efficiency and grace of movement in ways that may seem subtle but are profoundly significant. For those who have experienced stiffness, the first rotations may feel almost alien, a reminder that the tissues have been dormant. Yet, the nervous system adapts quickly. The body remembers how to move fluidly, and as circulation and lubrication improve, stiffness diminishes. This process is gradual, requiring patience and consistency, but the rewards are remarkable. Even in the context of chronic wear, arthritis, or past injuries, gentle rotation offers a pathway to comfort, mobility, and improved quality of life. I want to emphasize that this practice is not about pushing limits or achieving extremes. Its power lies precisely in its subtlety and consistency. There is a profound lesson embedded in this. Longevity and vitality are often cultivated not through grand gestures, but through thoughtful, repeated, intentional actions. The joints, like the mind, respond to care, attention, and reverence. They thrive when movement is approached as a dialogue rather than a demand. In integrating this exercise into daily life, one discovers an expanded sense of embodiment. Ordinary activities, reaching for a cup, bending to tie a shoe, walking along a path, become opportunities to notice, appreciate, and refine movement. The joints cease to be silent, passive components of the body. They become active participants in the ongoing conversation of life. And as these rotations become habitual, they cultivate resilience that is both physical and psychological. A reassurance that, while time continues to pass, the body retains its capacity for grace, adaptability, and strength. It is also worth reflecting on the joy inherent in movement itself. Controlled rotations engage multiple senses: the tactile feedback of bones and cartilage, the awareness of muscular engagement, the subtle stretch of tendons and ligaments, and the rhythmic flow of breath. Each rotation can evoke a sense of mindfulness, a grounding in the present, a recognition of the body's intricate capabilities. The practice becomes, in a sense, an act of gratitude, acknowledging the elegance of our own design and our capacity to participate in it fully at any age. Science continues to deepen our understanding of how tissues respond to motion, highlighting the role of mechanical stimulation in maintaining cellular health. Cartilage cells, known as chondrocytes, respond to gentle, cyclical loading by producing the extracellular matrix that preserves tissue integrity. Ligaments and tendons remodel in response to controlled stress. Muscles maintain tone and coordination. Even the nervous system demonstrates remarkable plasticity, refining motor control and proprioception. What emerges is a vision of aging not as inevitable decline, but as a continuum in which attentive practice can sustain function, comfort, and vitality. As we consider these truths, it becomes clear that this singular exercise, the art of mindful, full-range joint rotations, embodies principles that extend far beyond the joints themselves. It teaches patience, reverence for subtlety, and attentiveness to the present. It reinforces the idea that the body, even after 60, remains capable of adaptation, repair, and renewal. It reminds us that longevity is not merely the accumulation of years, but the quality of motion, the freedom of movement, and the responsiveness of our tissues to thoughtful care. And so, the simple act of rotating a shoulder, a wrist, a hip, or an ankle becomes a ritual of preservation. Each circle, slow and deliberate, affirms a truth that transcends anatomy. That time need not dictate decline, that the body is a responsive partner in the journey of life, and that even in our later decades, there is a capacity for vitality, grace, and fluidity that can be cultivated with patience, attention, and understanding.